Thank you for watching Ben Television. The program is You Decide. We give you information, facts, and analysis. But at the end of the day, you decide. My name is Shegun Johnson. And in the last 7 days, so many things have happened across the globe. How about the Franco-African Economic Summit with Buhari there? And so many things happened between Macron and Buhari. We'll be looking at that. We'll also be looking at hijacking of an aeroplane, Rania to be precise, by the Belarusian authority. Is Russia a complicit in this one? And then we'll be also looking at some things that are happening across the globe, especially the Middle East. But the globe is in support of getting something done out of the Middle East. Why is the globe not interested in Nigeria? But I think people do say that heaven helps those who help themselves. If Nigerians cannot protest, why should the world protest? But in this studio, I have with me men who will look into this. They will give their analysis, they will give their opinion, they will give information. But at the end of the day, you decide. We have all the way from Milan, Mark Godwin. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shagun. Good morning, viewers. Nice to be here again.
And here in the middle of England, Peterborough, man, is Mazi Gossin. Mazi Gossin, Azu, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Doctor. It's my great pleasure again being here with you all. And good morning, viewers. We're going to have a wonderful morning today. Thank you very much.
Last but not the least, our in-house researcher, Nat Iyakwo. Nat, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody.
Yes, we understand that the United Kingdom is doing very well concerning the vaccine shots. So we'll just move on from that and try and look at what is happening in the Russian sector of the globe. Many of us have heard how Ryanair was hijacked and was piloted, actually followed down, and in modern terms, state hijack, and they allowed the plane to land, and with a lie that there was a bomb in the plane, and from there they asked everybody to come down with their luggage, and they searched everywhere. There was no bomb, but one opposition leader, a blogger, we understand, was arrested. His name Roman Patrashik. Pardon me if I don't pronounce his surname well, but one Roman was arrested, and the whole world is shouting, number one, why will you hijack an aeroplane as a state? Number two, is Russia supporting? Number three, what is going to be the fate of this man? But let our in-house researcher bring us up to date. Nat, what do we know that is happening to this man, and what are the agitations of the countries across the globe?
Well, the man at the center of it all is a journalist, a blogger, Mr. Roman, and he has challenges with the Belarusian president, for he's been writing, blogging, and not in favor of the government. And we know the Belarus government is a rogue government and has been involved in so many things. So on this fateful day,
why do you call it a rogue government?
Yeah, because it has been breaking all the international laws you can think of. It seems to have more backing from Russia, Putin, and he's doing very undemocratic things, and it's running like the former Soviet Union. Let's put it that way. And so on this fateful day last week, a flight run by Ryanair, originating from Athens going to Lithuania, was diverted. And actually what happened was the president of Belarus used their fighter jet, one of the fighter jets, to divert the Ryanair flight. And once a fighter jet comes close to you as a civilian airline, you have no choice than to just do what they say you should do, and he was told to land in Belarus, and that's what he did.
You surrender.
Yeah, you surrender. There's nothing else you can do. A civilian airline with a fighter jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, let me ask our man Mazi. Mazi, you studied Europe in your master's class. What do you think the sanction of EU will be? The effective ones and the non-effective ones?
Well, I think the sanction by the EU on Belarus, as it is today, is becoming more obvious that there is something wrong in Belarus. There's something wrong with the president of Belarus, who has been in power for over 26 years and insists on holding on to power. This is another what many theorists or many policy thinkers across EU is worried about, having another kind of Putin within the axis of the European Union, or another rising anarchist or dictatorship, or another Hitler in making, in origin, in what used to be part of Eastern Europe or the Soviet Union, and now someone to have gone to that extreme extent to distort the freedom of travel and freedom of individual and freedom of state by hijacking an airline. This is an absolute disgusting attitude by any leader, to send an airfighter jet to control and to command a private airline to land at its own will at the airport they wish, and at that point put everyone on the aircraft under airspace arrest, and then kidnapping. This is an absolute international kidnapping, and it will not go well if EU fold their hands and clap over it and think it's one of those rotten diplomacies that is ongoing from the old Soviet Union.
Okay, let's ask from Mark. Mark, how did Europe receive this news? Very awful news.
Yes. Good morning, Doc. Doc, this is one sign of the fact that Europe is not also as democratic as people think. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko has displayed dictatorialism. He has displayed all manner of what they tend to go against, human rights. Now the young man, the 26 years old journalist, that's Romanus, has been detained. Europeans all over are very angry. As at yesterday evening in the EU House, there was a series of meetings. Sanctions have been placed on Belarus. So many arrangements are going on, and they are actually requesting for the boy to be released. But you see, there are conspiracies that is hidden. One of such conspiracies is Russia is behind all this. And in fact, that jet Dr. Nat was talking about, the jet that intercepted the Ryanair, the young man and his girlfriend were in, has been traced to Russian government, the jet plane. The situation is getting very ugly. Now, what has this boy done? All this boy did was a post he did on Instagram was able to garner a lot of young Belarusian, and they did a protest, and they are protesting justly. They are protesting because Alexander Lukashenko has been ruling the country since the 90s. The last election was obviously rigged. He rigged that election. And these young new Belarusians say it's enough of his rule, enough of his regime. So Europeans are all not for it. The UK Prime Minister also condemned the act.
Why are they holding his girlfriend?
Yes. Well, she's his girlfriend. They were caught together, and the story is that she helps him in some of the editorial piece he writes, because she's also studying international law. The mother of the girlfriend, the parents of the boy, everybody is begging and calling on the world to come to their aid and help remove their children from that.
Okay, Mark, I want to ask you one serious question.
Yes, sir.
Why is the world so much engulfed in this one act, which of course is despicable, but they're not engulfed in the Nigerian massacres happening every day, every single day? Why is the world so much concerned about one country, one small country, and not concerned about the most populous country in Africa, the highest GDP, highest everything in Africa, ready with its personnel, human resources, but they're not concerned about Nigeria? Why? Can you give any reason at all?
Well, that's a very, very deep question, deep thing to look into. Obviously, there are some facts to the situation. Nigeria's situation is pathetic, very, very appalling. But no, the international bodies are not adding their voice. One reason from what we monitor in our corner here, one of the reasons is when the government in power does not own up totally to the atrocities in their domain, in their happening around them. How do you expect foreign bodies to come in? You see, they need the government in power, they need the mouthpiece, the media and everything to call and say, you guys, look what is happening. This was what is happening what happened in Israel, like you know, and for this Belarusian case, this is more like it. Everybody stood up and screamed and shouted and said this is stopped. Coupled with the fact that Belarus has a major stakeholder in the EU conglomerate. So
thank you, Mark. I'm going to ask our viewers to look at this video. Amazi and Nat, I will ask you the same question. After watching this video clip, I want you to tell us why Nigeria is not as important as any of these European countries, irrespective of comparative advantage. This video was a collection of what happened in the cities all over the world concerning the Middle East crisis. At the end of the day, about 300 souls were lost. In Nigeria, that's the average we lose a day, and yet the whole world was up to it. Let's look at this video that the world arise for the Middle East. Well, I don't know about COVID-1948, but what I know is that the world arose for 300 souls killed between Israel and Palestine. And yet, that's the number of souls that die almost every day in Nigeria. God's in Azu, why is the world forgetting Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Doc. To be honest, I would want to react to this particular question by saying that in reality, the world is not turning its back against Nigeria. The international community in their own best interest are working in different ways and in different forms behind the scene, watching what is going on in Nigeria and reacting in their own forms and manner towards it. It may not be very obvious, it may not be very open, it may not be very critically assessed, the reactions of some of these international communities and what is happening in Nigeria based on their various national interests at stake in Nigeria as well. We all know that Nigeria or Africa has not been a very, very challenging, volatile continent in terms of breakages of war tendencies that would engulf the global community at large, such as when you look at most of the challenging and volatile areas of the world or continents of the world.
So nobody cares if they kill themselves like they did in Rwanda. They can die as long as they're not challenging the rest of the world.
Well, the West always mitigate on issues that would engulf the rest of the globe from any crisis or emanating conflicts or clashes or communal clashes.
So it is their national interest that matters most. So it doesn't matter whether people die in Africa.
Well, it's not that it doesn't matter to them. It matters to them, but they are, like I said, they have their own security strategic agenda in which they use to mitigate some of those issues and follow up. The fact is that there is no major African country's government that has no link to either Britain, US, France, or Russia, or China at the moment. So these key countries have key role they play in most African country leaders, or most African country nations in Africa. And as such, each one protects everything that he has in those countries. And as much as the conflict does not engulf, because they are making money. They are making money from every little conflict that's going on in Africa. You look at what happened in Mali 2 days ago. Within 6 months, there's two mismatched queues to remove whatever system they put in place after about 2-3 months conflict resolution, even though Jonathan was part of that resolution in Mali to bring in the temporary or the interim government that was absurdly removed without any recourse by the same military junta. So you see, France even being the key benefactor of what is going on in Mali, is still playing a diplomatic engagement role in it, trying to avoid an escalation of the crisis in Mali.
Okay. I just want Nat to answer the same question. Why is Nigeria being ignored, even though many people are dying?
I think, in the 21st century, the relevance of any nation or any particular geographical area will depend on your strategic geographical location and what is your contribution in world politics or world affairs. And then what do you have leadership in your country that projects your country to the outside world? Are you participating fully in international affairs and international politics? What are your human rights records? Do you do rule of law or national interest? So these are the questions people will ask. And as we speak, in fact, the whole of Africa, the world can do without the whole continent. They can sink Africa and the world will continue. And so and again, our crude oil is no longer relevant in world economy. And people are, are diverting their.
So they love us for what we can give. They don't love us for our lives.
No, your life is not important.
I think it's good to know. It's good to know, isn't it?
So those are the facts on the ground.
So that the American representative said it in a video we watched 2 or 3 weeks ago, when he said, well, Nigeria is not on the agenda. Simple. It's not just on the. Do you remember that clip? He said Nigeria is not just on the agenda. Anyway, Mark, Buhari and other African leaders were in France to discuss economic issues, and Dr. Okonjo-Iweala was there, Dr. Adesina was there, and they took photos with Buhari. What really happened there? Tell us, was this a real conference? Tell us the nitty-gritty, and is it going to be effective, or it was Macron just trying to pull a fast one?
No, it wasn't Macron pulling a fast one. It was first of all, let me say that the meeting was hybrid. So you had physical and online representation. So for the online, what they did was they also opened up to media houses in Europe to follow. So we were also able to monitor what was going on. It's basically a meeting to boost financing in Africa amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Like you know, because Africa is not economically strong, when little things happen, even when it doesn't even affect them directly, it scatters the economy. It scatters the structure of economy. It affects the ordinary people also, because money flow and every other thing comes to a standstill. So the COVID-19 had an immense effect on Africa, not the biological, not the COVID itself, but on finance. So that meeting was called to, number one, see how to boost the economy again, get the economy jump up again. Number two, there is a situation, like you might know, where the COVID medicine itself, the vaccination, is being locked, is patented. So, and that is not helping Africa and most countries, because they can't produce. You know what patent means. So the meeting was called so that they could talk with these big pharmaceutical companies to lift up the patent rights. So the smaller countries and other countries could have the right to produce and manufacture.
Have they approved the vaccination in Nigeria and South Africa now?
It's still ongoing, sir.
Okay.
Yes, the discussion is still ongoing. And finally, also, the meeting was in preparation. There's a major African summit, African development meeting that will be held in Tunisia next year. And is organized by Tokyo. So it's called Tokyo International Conference on African Development. So it will be held in Tunisia, and the preparation has to be made now. So that meeting also was one of the ways to discuss it. Also, take note that we have a big oil company in Nigeria. So this is now why while the president was in that meeting in France, there's a company called Total. Total is into oil production. Total produces about 200,000 barrels of oil in Nigeria a day. So that's big business. That adds up to our economy. So now there are new arrangements with Total. Mind you, Total is merged with another company called ELF. These are two French oil-producing companies. So they are merged, and we have to. Nigeria has to come to an agreement to new policy, new arrangements, new ways of doing things with total bosses, total officers. So
okay, thank you, Mazi. Why is it that we don't see President Buhari in Nigeria every day, but we can see him in London, in France, and in America? How come he loves flying, and we see him and the photo ops all over the place, but we don't see him at home? He was in France. Do you think it was France was better, or abroad was better for President Buhari than Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Doc. I wouldn't know what to say on this, but I'll be honest to you. This is one ridiculous aspect of our governance that baffles me a lot. When we should have a president that should be more interested in the domestic policies, domestic affairs of the nation, to ensure that the essence of governance is for government to provide the various necessities of life and social interventions to ensure that the common people in the country are beneficiary of the dividends of democracy when government is in form. But unfortunately, in the last 2.5 years, or probably in the last 6 years, we have had a president that spent about 57 or 59% of his functional hours and time as a president outside the country than in the country. And obviously that shows you that he's more interested about what makes him happy than what makes Nigerians happy. What makes him happy?
We're about to go on break now.
As long as he's healthy, he's treated with Nigerian money, he's flown to UK now. He's making his next destination of medical treatment to Paris. He's flown to Saudi Arabia. He's flown to every places to make sure his health is intact. Whether he's real Buhari or he's fake Buhari, we don't know which one, but either one. It's just that the fact that he's enjoying the functionality of
and he's not reporting back to the people. He's not reporting back to the people.
He doesn't need to report. He has one mouthpiece that is helping to destroy his government in the person of Garba Shehu or Shehu Garba, whatever they call him.
Okay, let me ask Nat. So we continue to see the president abroad and not at home. Is there any cultural reason for this?
No, I mean, it's not a cultural reason. It is just that is the way he has chosen to be president of Nigeria by Twitter and press releases. If he has accepted to be the president of Nigeria in the 21st century, he should practice acceptable international standards of presidents or heads of state, which is lacking in this present administration.
Is this not the disadvantage of democracy, when the majority of the people can vote in a less than standard person to be their leader and then fail them woefully? Is this a disadvantage of democracy?
No, it clearly shows the world that Nigeria is not practicing any democracy. And if you go back to how elections are conducted and then the recruitment process of leaders, we don't have any standard. Individuals manipulate the system to pump up or shoot up leaders, and this is why we have these challenges today. This is where Nigeria is today. Our electoral process is faulty. The recruitment process is faulty. We go for mediocrity, not merit. Our best are not in government, and so that is why we are here.
All right, thank you, Nat. We just have to go on a short break. When we return, a sad story from Nigeria. We lost 12 men, many of them generals, flight lieutenants, and Nigeria is mourning. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
FEN TV, your ethnic and Africa-led television, welcomes your input, contribution, and support to facilitate our continuous program production, campaign for projects, and other media-related services. We have been here for closer to 2 decades.
Schengen Story Magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story Magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle, inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment, a better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.
It has been 1 year of coronavirus, and that sickness has affected the whole globe. The aftermath will even be worse, the way the scientists are telling us. And we believe that we need to counter it right now. If 1 million souls should do good to 1 other million souls, it will be a better place. So we want to start this project. 1 million souls to do good to 1 million souls. Why don't you join us? You don't have to register anywhere. Follow me on Twitter at Segun Johnson UK for daily tips. There we show you how to do good to 1 person. Always remember, 1 million souls, do good to 1 million souls.
Thanks for staying with us. It's due decide, and unfortunately, last Friday there was a crash of a military helicopter in Nigeria. I'm sure my colleagues will give you the detail, but we want to look at the story from a humane side. It appears that President Buhari did not get it. He has not shown any serious emotional attachment to it, maybe because of his upbringing as a soldier. But many Nigerians believe that he should have shown more humane side of him concerning the chief of army staff of the country that died, 4 other brigadier generals and flight lieutenants. But watch this one as Nigerians honor their generals. We call it the death of the generals. Watch this video. That indeed. Now, bring us up to date. What happened and how Nigerians are mourning. Please bring us up to date.
Okay, on the 21st of May 2021, the chief of air staff, and the general officer who is head of the military, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, with his team of 3 brigadier generals, 2 majors, 2 flight lieutenants, 2 sergeants, and 1 major or 2 majors were on an official tour from Abuja to Kaduna on their way to Zaria. The flights from Abuja to Kaduna will normally take you 45 minutes plus landing 1 hour there. On arrival in Kaduna, they were to land at the military airport, but because of the weather, there was storm and the windshield was not conducive for landing. So the flight was diverted to Kaduna International Airport, which is a civilian airport. The plane landed, but could not get to its full stop before it was diverted. I mean, it skidded off the runway, and for now, that is the information we have concerning how the chief of army staff died with 10 other officers, and they were buried the following day, the 22nd of May 2021.
Let me quickly ask you a question. Many
Yes.
people have said that the president should have made a speech to the nation. She should have shown more emotion. Emotions are not for women alone, it's for every one of us affected by sorrowfulness. Why was the president so reluctant to make any commitment of emotion or even speech that will soothe the people, that will comfort the people? Any reason?
Well, there may be a reason, but I don't know. But it was expected, and it's still expected, that the president of Nigeria is at the same time the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And in the armed forces, we have 3 service chiefs, and one of them died, and we did not show any serious concern because he was the direct boss of Ibrahim Attahiru. There was no statement. We had a similar situation in 2006, where we lost almost 10 major generals who are going to Abudukatu Ranch for a retreat. Immediately, that was during the Obasanjo's regime, immediately a national mourning period was declared. Flags were flown at half-mast. There was a national broadcast, and that is to show the concern of a head of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But we didn't get this. And the armed forces at this moment are fighting to keep Nigeria as a country. We have serious security challenges, and these are men and women who had offered their life to protect so that we may live.
Mazi, what was your comment on President Buhari not showing leadership, and especially at a time like this when we lost a chief of army staff and other men, and look at their families, their wives? Mazi, any reason?
Well, like I said earlier on, this is just to show that we have a president that have lost touch and has indeed lose the connectivity between a president and his subjects, the citizens. And when you have such situation, and it's obviously being replayed and rewind on a consistent basis when situations like this happen, it shows you that this is a leader that is highly disconnected from the reality of things within the act of governance in this country, and is very, very disappointing and disheartening. I tend to call this president a calm toothpick president who relaxes and toots his pick after having a nice dinner or lunch, not really minding what other people survive upon in the country. It's a rather disheartening situation that the commander-in-chief of the armed losses, because I wouldn't call them armed forces, I call them armed losses, because the army and the entire military apparatus in Nigeria have lost over 100,000 souls in the last 6 years, if we go to reality, because Nigeria is a place where statistics is a problem. People throw statistics for political enthusiasm reasons and not for the reality of lives. And as such, you cannot call such a commander of the armed forces, but the commander of the armed losses. And as such, we have a ridiculous situation. And within 2.5 months, the Nigerian army or the Nigerian armed forces lost 3 fighter jets with lives. And the president, in every of the occasions, never showed any remorse. In reality, never came out to pay a due respect, physical respect to these lives that was lost in the course of fighting for the security and the safety of the Nigerian populace. He never showed. How come you can have such a person and you want people to sacrifice for him? I wonder how people want to put their lives in the line just because they want to become the chief of army staff or the chief of air staff, the chief of defense staff, the chief of naval staff, when the person you are supposed to be serving under his authority or constitutional power doesn't have any due regard for your life or your personality. When you lose your life, there is no human sense of recognition between him and those he has appointed to help him run the government. That is absolutely disgusting, an unacceptable situation. And when people come to defend the president on national TV, giving some ridiculous reasons for his inability to attend a funeral, and moreover, this is a national issue. Why should there be an immediate emergency burial ceremony tied to Islamic rite when some of those who died in that aircraft are real Christians? Why didn't they bury the Muslims separately and leave the Christian ones for them to undergo the rituals of Christianity, if that's the case, and their bodies and their burial ceremony handled in a very proper and a decent manner, rather than doing a hush-hush? Something is wrong behind this whole thing. There's something behind this whole crisis and crash and death. Why did the army or whoever in charge rushed the burial of 11 people just 24 hours after the crash? Why didn't they allow an autopsy? Why didn't they allow a proper examination of the body? Why didn't they allow people to examine why did they die? Why did they allow for a proper military honor? Why did they rush? Because the excuse is that the president never had enough hour within the 24 hours of preparation for the burials for him to attend that meeting. What happens to other people? So there's a lot of conspiracy theory behind this crash and the death of these noble soldiers and young men and women that have passed away in the last 2.5 years through air crash, through 3 aircraft belonging to the military crashing. And in fact, this one happened just 2 days or a day after they launched this new, whatever they call it, that Nigeria spent billions of dollars to acquire. And then immediately after that ceremony in Kaduna, this air crash went up the air and then crashed. There's something wrong somewhere. Why? People should be asking. Why did they authorize
Marky Milan? How do we comfort Flight Lieutenant Olufade, who got married 2 months ago? How do we comfort him?
Thank you very much. I can feel Mazi Azu's emotion. I can feel his passion also. The situation is really very heartbreaking. The young man just got married, and he didn't even enjoy the relationship of and that joy of being a married man. and see that beautiful wife, the wife so beautiful, beautiful couple on their happy day, and now we have to be talking of him not being around. This is so saddening, deeply saddening. We don't know where to begin. All we just say is, may God console the wife, the family, the wife's family. Now that young lady has at a young age has become a widow. She has to live with that reality, and probably maybe begin to plan in the future again for another husband. This is
okay. I know. I'm almost getting emotional now. Let's look at the video of this lady dancing with her husband. Honestly, I looked at it again and again, and I titled it "The Last Dance."
Oh, that's a deep title.
Well, the memory of this wedding will go a long way because our own executive producer, Dr. Alistair Shiode, serves as the father of this young lieutenant who has left us. The family, they are mourning, and they will need comforting words at this time. And we at You Decide, we commiserate with the Show Your Days, and will say, may his soul rest in peace, and may the Lord give the family of Show Your Day the necessary comfort to handle this situation. Let's have a look at the wedding. There is a wedding video. If we can honor these people who died, even if Buhari will not. But let's look at this wedding video. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Nat.
Yeah.
Finally, the video came out that the president sent the Minister of Defense to go and represent him at the funeral. What's your impression about what came out?
Well, what we saw on the video and what we have known of this particular Minister of Defense in the past, we don't have a Minister of Defense.
There is one, for God's sake. There is one.
Well, maybe it's a ghost minister. The speech was written for him. Whosoever read the speech, it looks the minister didn't even take the time to read the speech, rehearse it, know how to pronounce some words, and prepare himself to read the speech of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in that type of occasion. The man didn't know how to pronounce. Well, maybe he knew from heartfelt to heartless condolences, which means there was no condolence at all, or it was not coming from the heart. It was from his lips. And he was calling somebody chief of staff. He was calling the chief of army staff chief of staff. And so the man is a disgrace, a washout. It's unfortunate that we have such people.
Thank you, Nat. To show you how this man was a disgrace and a washout, the Nigerian television, this is serious. A television in Nigeria showed his ineptitudeness. It showed his inability to pronounce. I mean, I've never seen a national Nigerian television discuss a minister of defense like this. Please, studio, give us the blunders of the Minister of Defense. Let our other viewers watch this one. It's from, we want to acknowledge Arise Television on this one.
A short clip of Bashir Magashi, Nigeria's Minister of Defense, giving a speech during the funeral of the late Chief of Army Staff and 10 other military officers, circulated online. In the short clip, the minister, while reading from a script, attributed the wrong title to officials at the funeral and made grammatical blunders. Let's take a look.
Your Excellencies, the Executive Governors here present, the Chief of Staff to the President, Ambassador Gambari, the Chief of Staff, General Leke Irabo, Police Officers' Wives Association, Mrs. Victoria Irabo, the National President, Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, Mrs. Fatih Attahiru, the late Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru was an icon of professionalism, bravery, and discipline. This irreparable loss is indeed a tragedy to our dear nation. On behalf of the Commander-in-Chief, I wish to extend his great displeasure or the sadness of today's solemn event. On this note, I wish to express my heartfelt condolences to all the bereaved families, the federal government, and the good people of Nigeria for this loss.
I mean, this video went viral, Tunju. I mean, I don't know what happened there. Maybe the script writers could have chosen simpler sentences or words. Heartless condolence. I don't know what happened there.
I'm going to give him a break. I think everybody's been really mean. Not everybody is good at public speaking. It's not everybody's forte. And at least he showed up to the funeral, unlike some other people. So I'm really going to give him a break here.
Okay, public communication is an important aspect of public life. So whether it's in the corporate sector or in the public sector. What happens to many people is that they find themselves in a position of importance and they do not have the relevant communication skills to be able to engage the public. Now, in this particular case, Minister of Defense, the usual protocol is that first, once the speech is written, the boss should look at it. His staff should have taken him through it to make him practice.
He didn't feel the need to prepare,
and also teach him how to pronounce some of those words. Now, except somebody is totally incompetent. Once you prepare, once you make an effort to prepare, then you will not go to a public occasion to embarrass yourself. Now, the Minister of Defense of Nigeria, can you imagine the kind of rib-cracking laughter that will be going on in diplomatic circles in Nigeria, or even abroad? First, he started by saying, the president was expressing his displeasure at the event. Displeasure how? Displeasure that the funeral was taking place, and then somewhere along the line he said heartless felt condolences. So displeasure and then heartless condolences being conveyed. What kind of thing is this? And then he referred to the chief of army staff, the chief of defense staff, chief of staff.
Chief of staff, yes.
Then he referred to the wife of the chief of defense staff as president, something. You know, and I was wondering what is going on here. You know, a 10 minutes, 30 minutes, rehearsal with his staff would not have caused this kind of problem. But I think, every public person should just learn from this. It's the kind of thing that can happen to you.
Mazi, here in England, we know that members of parliament, indeed anybody holding a high place in any company, they are normally sent to schools. Number one of elocution, number two of reasoning, number three of intelligence to engage with the public. Every parliamentarian, every councillor, because you may find yourself being interviewed. What happened in Nigeria? I mean, to this point.
Well, Doc, you have already said it. In every advanced nation, there is always a school of public tutelage, where every public servant, every appointed officer goes through a very strong tutelage on how to present him or herself in the public, either by media presentation or conference presentation, or representing the principal at any occasion. You are tutored on how your body language, your public speaking ability and capability, your use of your hands and your eyes and your head in a public place is being guided by principles of governance. And as such, when you misstep or mishap, you entirely disgrace yourself and the government as a whole. And unfortunately, we have a government that is not ashamed of itself. This is not the first time they have been shamed. They have been ridiculed. The government have been bambooded or bombarded or bombasted by so-called
bombarded
or bombasted by we remember Dambata when Dambata was defense minister. He made so many blunders. We remember how Lailai Muhammad has been bombarding the media with so many fake stories. This government is absolutely disgusting. And unfortunately, I said it. Why did they have to organize a 24 hours burial ceremony over a national incident, a national disaster? Why? Because there wasn't enough preparation. In fact, that minister should not even be having a script written. He should just come there as a normal human being and speak from his heart. It's a burial ceremony. It's a burial ceremony. Speak from your heart. If he has come here and speak from his heart.
Time is not on our side. Mark,
grace and
we have to go. We have to go on a break now. Mark, what's your reaction?
Yes, very, very appalling. In fact, I laughed my head off that day, and I was almost choking here. In Europe, like you just said, Doctor, there are what you call school of courtesy, school of leadership building. And here in Italy, interestingly, we have such schools too, where people are taught, you're taught how to dress, how to eat, how to use the cutleries and eat as a leader, how to talk, how to courtesy, all those things. Nigeria needs to learn some of these things. We are copying things, but we are not copying rightly. We are copying to a different angle. So the ministers, such public officers should know that you don't come and shame the whole, because now he's not just shaming his office, he's shaming Nigerians. The white people will laugh and say, look at them, look at what this man is saying. So next time, like the moderators were saying on Arise TV, a 10-20 minutes of rehearsal will not kill him, and it will help him. And it goes to all leaders too. Officers should have that behind the scene training, learn all these ways of doing things. There are ways human beings do things now. You can't just be doing things like you're in the banana republic. Courtesy, learn things. Tie wearing, do you know they learn tie wearing, cap and hats and shoes, how to put on your suits. Do you know Nigerians don't know how to wear suits? Yes, these are all courtesy.
Well, let's just say some Nigerians don't know how to wear.
Dr. Justin knows how to wear his suit.
Yes, I like that.
He's very well.
Yes, they put their hands one by one, and that's how you do it. You flip.
Okay. Thank you, Italian dressing man. Thank you very much. There's something we call sound bite. When you are a public officer, you must be very careful of your sound bite, because that's what the journalists will pick up. And so some phrases you must refrain from. But Nigeria, you have to do better than this. This man disgraced himself and the whole nation, because we're talking about serious issues here. And we just cannot but point it out. We hope democracy will improve in Nigeria. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll be looking at insecurity in Nigeria. This is very important. If you have never listened to us, this is the moment you listen to us when we return. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Ben Television has been going for almost 2 decades now, representing the African, Caribbean, and ethnic communities in the diaspora, especially based in the United Kingdom. We have been providing content, various programs to empower, make an intervention, deliver, and enlighten the mainstream community about what it is to be a BAME in the United Kingdom. For almost 2 decades, this has been our ethos, bridging the gap. Now we seek for your support and partnership in delivering what we need to achieve in the coming generation for our youth, either through training, mentorship, empowerment for their entrepreneurial skill, talent, and in their business. Ben Television, bridging the gap, you're welcome to be with us. Thank you very much for joining and being partners of Ben TV, creating that bridge between the mainstream and the other communities in the United Kingdom and in Europe.
Give yourself away for me.
Thank you for staying with us. The program is You Decide. The reason for the government is to provide security and welfare for the people. Actually, according to a philosopher, Thomas Hobbes, he said that in the state of no government, then life is short, poor, solitary, and only the survivor will live. So the people came together and deposited their arms and ammunitions and gave them all to one person who will lead them and provide security for all. And he came up with a position of the king, or the Leviathan, as he called it. And so from that philosophy, we have realized the need for the government to be in charge of the security of the people and ensure that weapons are not found in the community. Unfortunately, that is not the case in Nigeria. Insecurity has been the major problem of this nation, especially in the last 10 years, when we've seen schoolgirls abducted and we've seen them. There are so many ransoms paid in hundreds of millions of naira, so many killings. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not getting for the better. We want you to note that on this occasion, instead of telling you someone has been killed or abducted or kidnapped for a ransom, no, much more than that. There's a lot of arms and ammunitions all over Nigeria, and we want you to listen to this and be able to see how we can redeem Nigeria. Listen to the comments of this video. We acknowledge the TVC in this one. They brought this together. So let's have that video on the ammunition spread in Nigeria.
Hello and welcome. This is TVC News at 10. We'll begin in Zamfara State, where a shocking revelation was made earlier today by a 30-year-old notorious gun runner, Shehu Ali Kachala. In his confession, Mr. Kachala said a military personnel gives him cover to deliver arms to criminals in their hideout. The suspect says he has sold 450 rifles as well as 8,000 live ammunition to different criminal gangs in Zamfara, Kaduna and Niger State. The Nigerian citizen who has been in Nigeria supporting bandits with weapons says he has been importing weapons from Niger Republic for the past 3 years. Theophilus Darufai reports.
The influx of weapons into Nigeria has contributed to the spread of insecurity in almost all parts of the country. Many still wonder how criminals have access to deadly weapons to perpetrate evil, but this 30-year-old Nigerian citizen says he imports weapons from Niger Republic through the assistance of a military personnel who gives him cover at security checkpoints. According to him, he has sold 450 rifles, 8,000 live ammunition, and other deadly weapons to criminal groups in Zamfara and other states of the Northwest region. He made the confessional statement when he was arrested by troops of the Federal Intelligence Investigation Bureau in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. He used to import the guns from Niger Republic. There's a military personnel who usually give me cover, especially at the checkpoints. I sold 450 rifles and 8,000 live ammunition to different criminal gangs in Zamfara, Kaduna and Niger states. According to him, he developed interest in the business because of the high profit and turnover. He says he gains nothing less than 300,000 naira on each rifle sold, but the profit usually depends on the type of rifle. I sell rifles between 600,000 to 1 million naira, depending on the make. I also sell ammunition at 1,100 naira each. The police say efforts are underway to arrest other fleeing suspects. They are short of their commitment to curb the influx of weapons into the country. Theophilus Darufai, TVC News, Gusau.
Now, how far should we be scared?
What's the question again, please?
How far should we be scared in Nigeria?
Well, we are scared as a nation. We are scared as individuals, and the federal government of Nigeria has failed in its constitutional responsibility of ensuring the security of life and property and welfare of Nigerians. And as we speak, the situation is getting worse and worse every passing day because the security the security is not available for Nigerian citizens. And what has happened is you have non-state actors who are now more armed than the armed forces or than the security people. And it's getting worse every other day. And apart from the killings in the northeast, bandits overrunning military barracks and seizing their weapons. And we also have heard of ISWAP taking over Boko Haram, which is going to be a more serious security challenge for the government that is not able to provide any security at the moment. But if you look at the southeast, the dimension scenario now is police barracks or police stations being set ablaze, police officers being killed, and now INEC offices. INEC is the body that conducts elections. INEC offices, their materials, their vehicles are being destroyed. And so we are concerned as we approach Anambra elections this year, November 6th, and then 2 years to come, we have the national election, presidential, National Assembly, and State Assembly. Are we going to be able to stand as a nation between now and 2023? Will 2023 elections hold? Or there will be a constitutional crisis and maybe a caretaker government? These are some of the issues we are facing as a nation.
One quick question that comes to my mind to you, Nat. Is the distribution of this illegal arms and ammunition across the nation, that is in all the 6 geographical zones, do we all have the ammunition, or is it just concentrated in one place or 2 places?
No, a situation where we now have sectional warlords and individuals is spread all on the 6 geopolitical zones. There are arms, proliferation of arms, light arms and weapons almost everywhere. So it is the 6 geopolitical zones, and maybe with emphasis now, the emphasis now is in the southeast geopolitical zone.
Mazi, thank you, Nat. Mazi, the southeast have raised up a new group called the Unknown Gunmen, UGM, and they've been burning police stations and INEC buildings. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, not just in Imo State, but across Southeast, which means they are definitely out of the security apparatus of Nigeria. And will there be, the following question is, will there be election in all these places? Is that not the message they are passing, that there will not be 2023 election?
Thank you, Doc. I think going by what is happening, and from my little experience in the last couple of months, I was in Nigeria. Just like Mr. Nat have just said, there are different perspectives to the level of insecurity we have in the country today. And as much as I am aware, and I continue to tell people that the state of insecurity in Nigeria today is as a result of certain individuals who are perpetrating and also orchestrating all these kinds and forms of insecurity in Nigeria for either personal and individual interests or certain collective individuals' interests in those various regions. And it's as much as that. The only fact is that we fail to tell ourselves the honest truth and come out of our what do I call it? The word ran off my head now. Position and begin to think out of the dark end of our boxes and be open. Like I said to the former head of state, General Abdul Salam, and some few leaders in Abuja in one of the peace conflict meeting, and I pointed to every one of them. physically there. I said, every one of you sitting down on this high table are responsible for the insecurity in this country. And that is the obvious. We can come to the camera and say all the things we need to say. But when we go back to our homes, we control some of these elements that are running all these arms deals, propagandas, media, social media propagandas, influencing the minds of people on what is to be and not to be, and the underground runners that are causing all these conflicts all over the north, the south, and so on. And that is the fact. Nigeria is turning into an anarchist state where there is no single principle of ideological strands that is leading anybody, where everyone is fighting for a freedom that will never come true. And that freedom is leading to the death of innocent citizens, innocent individuals across the country. People who have no hand in what is going on are being murdered unnecessarily across the country, east, west, south, north. And this is because some certain elements in the society, like I said to them, brought about these whole elements that are causing this trouble. We look from history. How did Boko Haram came? I said to them, how did Boko Haram came? Somebody invited Boko Haram, and the Boko Haram got out of control. And the people who invited them and used them lost control of this Boko Haram element. And these people turned from political talks to Islamic agenda, jihadist. And suddenly Boko Haram is about losing his control. And when they had their different fractions, now some of them metaphors into the invited bandits by the Chinese and Russian gold miners in Zamfara and part of Katsina. And these fractions mixed up with these invited foreigners who now ended up building an empire of bandits. And you look, some of the other fractions ended up being security men to the herdsmen. When I said to people, there is nowhere in history I have seen herdsmen across the Sahara, from Mali to Burkina Faso to Guinea to anywhere that you see, even in Senegal or Ghana, you see a original herdsman, Katuriera, carrying AK-47. In reality, it is impossible. But because of these infiltrations, now you see a small 10 years, 15-year-old Katuriera carrying his shepherd stick and his dagger and his armlets on his body. But then there are elements of this so-called ISIL, ISIS, or whatever, and Boko Haram elements that have been their guide, penetrating into people's farmlands, in disguising as herdsmen, but in reality, they are terrorists. These are the things. This whole thing is now building up into the southeast, south-south. Now we have ESN turning into a warlord organization in the southeast. Now we have Sunday Igboho and the rest of them turning into a warlord in the southwest. When I traveled from Abuja to Ife for about 8 hours, going and coming, 16 hours. What I saw is unbelievable. Some people may live in Europe and not on the ground, but they say a lot of things. You need to come and see things physically and then make your argument. Make your argument, positive argument. Some of us...
Sorry, Mazi, what did you see? What did you see between Abuja and Ile-Ife? I mean, are you talking of the roads or the quality of living of the people? What did you see?
The quality of the road is absolutely disheartening. When I leaving the metropolis of Abuja, getting out of Abuja through Babbalada and Abaji, you could stay there for 6 hours and you have not moved 1 kilometer. I had to take a risk. Of driving through the villages from Gwarimbiri or whatever they call it before Babbalada, and traveling into the villages to come out on the other end of the express road at Abaji was a blunder risk, because we were traveling in between some places that you ask God, why are you taking this risk? You understand? And when you leave Babbalada, you leave Abuja, you enter into Lokoja, and I wonder, how could somebody be a governor of Kogi State and he cannot take care of Lokoja and Kaba, road between Lokoja and Kaba? He cannot repair 10 kilometers of a road. Then he wants to become a vice president or a president of Nigeria. That is the mentality of Nigerians and the leadership of the psychic mind of Nigerians. These roads are death traps. Even though you have Dangote cement along the road there at somewhere they call, I can't remember the name again, between Lokoja and Kaba, yet the roads are death trap. And then you leave this area and enter into Ekiti. My God, Jesus Christ. Irrespective of what is happening, the only good thing I saw in Ekiti was there was Amotekun. Amotekun were all over the road. Every 100 meters, an Amotekun person. Every 100 meters, you see an Amotekun person. But then there's still fear among the people.
The Amotekuns, were they carrying guns?
They were carrying their guns. They were on their gun. They have their guns. They stand. You see them in between every 100 meters of a forest to a next town. You see an Amotekun checkpoint. In fact, they are in Ekiti State. They are more Amotekun checkpoint than their police. They are not
police. Okay. So let me ask you.
The situation is that, like I said, Nigeria is gradually turning into an anarchist state, where the government of the day is losing control of its security elements in the country, and individuals are taking ride upon the security situation in the country and developing their own regional state elements of security, which I believe that some of these elements are getting out of control by those who
let's hear from Mark. Let's hear from Mark. Mark, are you sufficiently scared, like the rest of us, that Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder?
Absolutely, Doctor. Absolutely. Nigeria is sitting on in fact, not gunpowder.
on the keg of gunpowder alone.
No, on the dynamite.
Wow.
Explode. Yes, people are disgruntled. You have disgruntled politicians, very, very, very disgruntled citizens all over, even pastors, religious leaders. Everybody is just so fed up of the situation. The situation is not pleasant at all. Now, to your question to Mazi Azu, the East is brewing hardcore terrorists, they say unknown gunmen. But one thing about the average Igbo man is whatever he puts his mind to do, he does it with all his heart. So they can be more aggressive than these northern people. Now we are seeing them rising up, and you will also say, well, they are trying to defend their territory. Yes, they are trying to defend, because even the Ebiwago that the Eastern governors erected has not come into place, and we don't see it even coming to pass. It looks like something that might not happen. So the Eastern unknown gunmen, like you call them, are becoming the security backup for the Eastern region, and they are coming very strong. Now, you also talked about ISWAP. ISWAP was the one that confronted the Boko Haram. What that means, we all say, hey, the Boko Haram people are being brought down. We clap and we say this. But what this means is also dangerous, prominent position taking of ISWAP. ISWAP will come hard. And ISWAP, with some details I have of them, are ruthless, and they actually they have this belief that die and die to go to take your vengeance. So a lot of them want to die, and they go all out for it. So we're talking of a country where security has failed. The apparatus of security is no more working. Everything is down. And the security challenges in Nigeria has sparked the anger and the call for President Buhari to step down.
Is that your solution, that Buhari should step down? That's your solution to insecurity in Nigeria?
That might be, yes, Doctor.
Okay, let me ask Nat. Nat, a governor said his own solution is every Nigerian should hold his own weapon. Please bring us up to date. Who is this governor, and what kind of weapon did he have in mind?
The governor in mind is Dr. Samuel Otom, the governor of Benue State in the North Central Geopolitical Zone. And this is not the first time he's airing out his view, because his state have faced serious attacks by the herdsmen, by the bandits and Boko Haram. At a particular day, some 2-3 years ago, 70 people were slaughtered, and he had to conduct a burial ceremony for 70 people in a day. And so he has agreed, or he's saying the security provided by the federal government, because the federal government has monopoly of should have monopoly of use of arms against criminals, but government has failed. And one of the solutions the Benue State governor is saying, some other people have aired this view, that everybody should be allowed to be armed for self-defense. So
the
that,
defense minister said so, didn't he?
Yeah, the defense minister said so, but the way he said it was like the way he read the speech last Saturday. it was something else. General Danjuma, T.Y. Danjuma has also said it, that if you don't defend yourself, these bandits will just kill everybody in Nigeria.
But that's exactly what Thomas Hobbes was speaking against, that you do not defend yourself, you allow the government to defend you. And so everyone has submitted to his own. Everyone has submitted to the president or the king to defend the rest. So if I now carry gun to defend myself, you carry gun to defend yourself, then there'll be state of anarchy, won't it?
Well, it has to be regulated. We don't want a situation like America where everybody carries a gun and the first to shoot gets the other person killed. Even at one time when the Buhari was talking of shoot aside, is who shoots first. And we don't want the situation.
Did Buhari actually say that it was a shoot aside?
Yeah,
because it was reported, but did he really say it?
He said it on 2 occasions.
He said so.
And when he said, the problem is with the government, this government, that when a president makes a pronouncement, it becomes law. And then it is left now for the agencies, the ministries, department agencies to carry out this instruction within the purview of the law. It's not just...
Gentlemen, it amazes me that the president of a country should say that, because it is against the law to carry arms and ammunition in Nigeria, except you have the license for it. So how come the president will say it? I'll give you 1 minute each before we go on break. Mazi, why should we carry guns and without license? Because that's the only thing you can use to defend yourself against people who are carrying serious weaponry.
It's unfortunate, just like Russell said, the great philosopher said that man was born free, but everywhere they are in chain. And unfortunately, many people in the country called Nigeria are in absolute chain. They have been chained out of their evolutions. I think it's very wrong. It's very wrong to propagate such an idea in Nigeria as it is today. The Nigeria I saw last 3 months I was there. If there is an opportunity for everyone to carry gun freely in Nigeria, there will be death like birds in the streets of Nigeria. People will be falling dead. You just come out of your house and you don't like Mr. A, your neighbor, you just shoot him dead. Just like it's happening in some places in America. You come up to the market, in the marketplace, and you argue to price a yam, and somebody tell you, get away, idiot. The next thing, you draw your gun, shoot, bam, and kill, and go away. And so it is up to, like my brother said, Nigerians, and especially our Igbo descent people, when they learn the bad things, they learn it to the worst. If they want to, they learn kidnapping to the worst. They learn to kill to the worst. In fact, The Igbos are ready to commit suicide now. They are ready to go on suicide bombing. If they get to that level, Nigeria is in trouble. The Igbos.
Okay, let's hear from Mark.
We should not allow. Nobody should allow, because the problem we're having today is because politicians go and bundle.
I know how emotional you are, Mark. You think here in Britain, Mark, our policemen don't even carry guns, except special policemen. I don't know, in Italy, I mean, if policemen are not allowed to carry guns here, except for the special ones, how about it in Europe? Do people just carry guns?
No. Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, let me say that you're bringing up very wonderful topics and questions and statements. I give kudos to your endowed ability to go through the question line. Beautiful questions you're putting out. Now, yes, that it's good. It shows that you really know your onion. You know your job. You're a good media man. That's
I wish you were a girl.
Yes. Obviously, the whole of Europe plus UK, gun carrying is not as open as like in America. Italy, you, apart from having a license and going through gun training, gun drilling class, you don't just own guns here. And maybe that's why in Europe, I notice people use more of other weapons. Like in the UK, you have more knife carrying. People are open to carry knife, buy knives, hold knife. Everybody has knife on them. They say it's for defense, but some are using it for very terrible things. In the Western Europe also, people are not open to carry guns, except for the security arms of government. And also, the interesting thing is the Western Europe officers and security arms, they don't just use guns like they do in America. Upon you having the gun on you, you still have some restraints, some limits. You don't just blow up guns. So we don't have gun situation that much, but people have guns. Those that have gone through gun class, that you have to go to a class. There's a class for it. There's a section in their constitution that talks about that. So it will be a terrible thing, like you said, for Africa.
Unfortunately, it has come out from the mouth of the president, the defense minister, the governor. Yeah. It's a very sad
He said so. Yes, the president said so.
Very sad.
On 2 occasions, he said so, loud and clear. Go fire for fire, and so I don't think anybody should be asking questions again. I think everybody should just begin to own their gun. My dad used to own a gun when we were little, but that's because he was an army man, a retired soldier, and it was licensed. A lot of people own guns.
No, don't worry. We're not going to arrest your dad now. Don't worry. Whether licensed or not. Well, we have to go on a short break right now. When we return, we want to look at the warlords that have taken over Nigeria, and you have never seen this before. How the Southwest is turning to the only man who could provide security for them. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Schengen Story Magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story Magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind, keeping you updated.
#Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.
Ben Television has been going for almost 2 decades now, representing the African, Caribbean, and ethnic communities in the diaspora, especially based in the United Kingdom. We have been providing content, various programs to empower, make an intervention, deliver, and enlighten the mainstream community about what it is to be a BAME in the United Kingdom. For almost 2 decades, this has been our ethos, bridging the gap. Now we seek for your support and partnership in delivering what we need to achieve in the coming generation for our youth, either through training, mentorship, empowerment for their entrepreneurial skill, talent, and in their business. Ben Television, bridging the gap, you're welcome to be with us. Thank you very much for joining and being partners of Ben TV, creating that bridge between the mainstream and the other communities in the United Kingdom and in Europe.
It has been 1 year of coronavirus, and that sickness has affected the whole globe. The aftermath will even be worse, the way the scientists are telling us. And we believe that we need to counter it right now. If 1 million souls should do good to 1 other million souls, it will be a better place. So we want to start this project. 1 million souls to do good to 1 million souls. Why don't you join us? You don't have to register anywhere. Follow me on Twitter at Segun Johnson UK for daily tips. There we show you how to do good to 1 person. Always remember, 1 million souls, do good to 1 million souls.
Welcome back. It's You Decide. We give you information, facts, and analysis, but you decide. We want to look at how the people are now turning to warlords who are controlling the different areas. You may think that the people don't take security seriously, or at least the federal government may think so, or the state governments may think so, or the local governments may think so. No, you will be very wrong. The people are looking up to local leaders who could protect their interests. And I've never been amazed like this before, that Sunday Igboho could be looked up to by many Yoruba people. He went to Ogun State and thousands, tens of thousands just went to catch a glimpse of him. Then he went to Ondo State and more hundreds of thousands. Watch how Sunday Igboho was received in Ondo State, especially when the governor of Ondo State has said he wasn't welcomed and that he could do without him. But watch this yourself.
Sherry Rai, Eyero, Twantele Sunday Igboho Adeyemo, Oni Messiah Wabai, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tèmi tẹ́ bá bẹ̀rù ẹ má bẹ̀rù rárá kò sí nǹkan tó jẹ́ ìbẹ̀rù sí fọmọ Ọlọ́run. Ìgbòho ló lọ yẹn àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn àwọn kan ló tún gbé nílùú Ondo State lẹ́yìn dèkó ṣẹ́yìn rí bó ṣe ń lọ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá wọ́n wá rí ìlú yẹn lórí díẹ̀ ṣẹ́rí bó ṣe ń lọ ṣẹ́rí Ìgbòho ṣá nìyẹn òun lọ́ wá rí fún yẹn òun ní gbogbo wọn fẹ́ rí yẹn abájíta wá nìyẹn Mèsáyà wá nìyẹn ń sìn ẹ máa bọ́ ó gbà wálẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ oko ẹrú Fúlàní ọkọ Fúlàní ìyá Fúlàní bàbá Fúlàní Ìgbòho ṣá ní ọjà gbogbo wọn ṣe ráwọn èrò tó dúró tó fẹ́ wò ó kọ́ ṣe báyìí máa wò ó gọ́vnà ìlú ò gbọ́dọ̀ máa bọ̀ kọ́ ṣe báyìí máa wò ó president ìlú ò gbọ́dọ̀ máa bọ̀ kọ́ lọ́pọ̀ fẹ́ wò báyìí gọ́vnà ìlú ò gbọ́dọ̀ máa bọ̀ kọ́ lọ́pọ̀ fẹ́ wò báyìí ṣe é rí bó ṣe ń lọ mẹ̀sáyà wa nìyẹn báyìí ó fẹ́ gbà á lẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ oko ẹrú fúlàní mẹ̀sáyà wa nìyẹn ṣe é rí bó ṣe ń lọ ṣe é rí lọ́wọ́ táwa ń sìn ẹ má bẹ̀rù ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ọkọ̀ fúlàní ti dé sílùú Oǹdó ọkọ̀ fúlàní ti dé sílùú Oǹdó wọ́n máa jẹ́ nìyẹn wọ́n ní kò lè wà ó wá wọ́n ní kò sí kan tó máa ṣe.
Well, if you didn't understand what he was saying, he said, here is our Messiah. His name is Sunday Igboho. Don't be afraid. We now have someone who will take care of our security. He is our savior. Even the Amotekons are in support of him. Everyone should embrace this man. He has come to deliver us from the Fulanis. He has come to do it. Even not a governor will attract such crowd. That's what he was saying. And Nat, what's your immediate impression?
Chief Sunday Adeyomo alias Sunday Igboho, he's come to fill a vacuum that had been left in providing security for Nigerians. We know Sunday Igboho came to limelight sometime toward the end of last year or early this year around Ibarapa North, where the Fulanis were harassing and killing people. And he gave notice, and that notice was effective for the Fulanis to leave that particular area. And from there, the Ogun State governor invited him as a consultant on security in Ogun State. He went there, went to Abeokuta and other places, and did his job. And he did some job too in Oyo, Ibadan area, between Ibadan and Lagos, on the dual carriageway. Then he went to Ondo State, which you have seen, and the last one was he was in Osun State, Oshogbo, on the invitation of the governor. So it is when the government have failed in its constitutional responsibilities, then these non-state actors come to fill the gap, fill the vacuum, because the people cannot afford to be left without anybody providing security for them. An individual like Sunday Igboho, individual like Kano of IPOP, and then some other youth movements in the northern part of the country are providing security. You have this civilian JTF who are also providing security, helping the military to fight banditry and insurgency.
Okay, thank you very much. Mazi Godson, May 29 has been earmarked in the whole of Southeast. Nobody should come out to sell anything. And even it's got to the Southwest now. May 29 is what nobody must come out that has been touted all over the place. And this was a command from Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB boss. Does it mean that the IPOB boss, Nnamdi Kanu, is controlling the Southeast? Will that happen on the 29th of May?
Thank you very much, Doc. I think whenever when a government allows for a space or a vacuum, somebody else fills that vacuum, irrespective of their agenda on behalf of the government. Unfortunately, we have a situation where the rhetorics of Nnamdi Kanu is becoming an obvious situation that is endangering, irrespective of the fact that people read different meanings to his social media expressions and rhetorics. The fact is, we have to be careful the way we managed our insecurity at the moment in the country. And like I always said, and I continue to say,
Mazi, the question is May 29. Are the majority of the people in Southeast, are they going to obey Kanu or not? Well, irrespective of your own perspective of or perception of Nnamdi Kanu, the majority of those young men and women, are they going to oblige to?
The truth is that there is a huge number of people who are dispassionate with the situation in the Southeast at the moment, who will want to use that as an opportunity to strike back on the government. So there may be a high level adherence to that order or compliance to that order by majority the youths. But then the House of the Igbos, which is the Imobi of the Igbos, the Ohanese and Igbo, is already divided among themselves on who they stand with, the government, the state government, or Nnamdi Kalu's agenda with his IPOP groups. So there's a lot of confusion on what happens in the Southeast. And that is why we have to be careful, I said, careful, because there is proliferation of arms in the Southeast. There are those who are working for the political elements. There are those who are working for the IPOB elements. There are those who are working for some chieftains in the middle. So the victims are going to be ordinary innocent people who may not even have any agenda at all within the whole of this crisis of whether Biafra or no Biafra, whether Igbo or no Igbo, and will be the birds that will lose their lives. So what we need to do now is to avoid these unnecessary confrontational declarations, which is not backed up with a very strong united and uniformed agreement within each of the.
Okay. I have one more question for you. We have seen in the past, anytime Nnamdi Kanu said no market, it meant no market for many parts of Southeastern states. Now, this May 29 even has infiltrated to the Southwest. I called a relative who said, we're not going to open our shops on the 29th of May, and this is in Southwest, because they've been saying it, open it, and then you will suffer. Do you think it's going to hold water across board? Of course, in the South.
Well, it's gonna hold water in some places. Like I said, there is a proliferation of arms and ideas and leadership in the Southwest and the Southeast at the moment. Sunday Igboho is running an element of his own. The OPC is running a different element on their own. The state governments are running a different element on their own. Orders are given from every sectors of the societies. So it depends on who is going to react to each of these orders. 29th will be an open challenge for every one of us in the Southeast, in the Southwest. Who are they standing with? Are they going to stand with the declaration for no work day on the 29th of May in the Southeast, no market opened? Is that going to reflect to all the Igbos also in the Southwest, in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Ogun? In Akure, are they also going to shut their markets because they are Igbos also? They will shut their markets, or is it going to be an order that Sunday Igboho is going to be implementing on behalf of the Yorubas, that no Yoruba should open his shop or his market or go to anywhere on that day, and he mandate his boys to go around the markets and look and find who opens or whatever? So it's gonna be who is going to take the mandate of monitoring or implementing this order in the state? Is it going to be the ESN, the Eastern Security Network, that are going to be going around the state to ensure that nobody opens the market?
Let me ask. Thank you, Mark Milan.
It's a very complex.
Mark Milan, what is why May 29? It used to be our Democracy Day, of course, shifted to June 12. Now, why May 29? And is this the only way we will go forward? The Lord will give a law and it will superimpose upon any other law. Is that the way we'll go?
Thank you, Doctor. These are serious issues. There is a crack in the Nigerian political wall, and everybody is taking advantage of it. May 29 has always been coming back from the previous years. May 29 has always been a period when the Igbos, the Biafran Igbos, used to commiserate the Biafran death in honor of the fallen soldiers and the young men and women that were killed during the Biafran War. So IPOB is jacking up on that date as an avenue to also stamp their feet more in the issues of dominance in Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria. And the crack in the wall is extending. It is not only about Nigeria now. Do you know that as at yesterday, separatist movements from Cameroon and Nigeria, the IPOB, they are now joining forces. And we also know that Igboho and his own group too are almost liaising with IPOB. So yes, that day might have some impact. A lot of activities might be on hold because the crack in the wall in Nigeria now is being capitalized. They are taking up that opportunity, they are taking up that chance to show that, yes, we want our own demand, we want our own thing. We're no more interested in Nigeria as a project, as a sovereignty. So everybody takes opportunity of what is going on. So May 29 is a Biafran Memorial Day, but we might see a different thing playing out with the Cameroonian separatist movement, the Anglophone Cameroonians. You know, they are also agitating for their own.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the last question for today. Thank you very much for that. Mark, I really want to just spend 60 seconds on it. As we speak, or is it tomorrow, the Nigerian Senate is conducting a public hearing on amending the 1999 Constitution. And they have listed about 101 things to discuss. Of course, the public are given only 2 days, and then in various avenues of the 6 geopolitical zones. What's your take on this? Is this what we want in Nigeria or what they want?
What they want. That's
you have 58 seconds. That's all you can say. Thank you very much. Godson, what they want. What will Nigerians accept it? Because we've been asking for restructuring and it's not going to be done. And then people have been asking for separation and it's not going to be done. Now, amendment of the 1999 Constitution.
Doc, thank you very much. I think this is another effort in frugality. Again, remember, Honorable Ihedioha led a committee of this sort when he was in session, and they went around Nigeria, went around the geopolitical zone. At the end of the day, he came to Chatham House and delivered his some of their resolutions on that whole effort. Till today, we never saw anything happen about that. Now we're having another one. These are just people milking Nigeria in different forms with different committee arrangement and different assignments that will never come to fruition, will never come. This constitution needs to be thrown away completely and the new constitution redrafted for Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much on that. The constitution needs to be thrown away. Nat, what's your take? Nat, thank you, Mazi. Nat, what's your take?
My take is that we don't even have a constitution. This 1991 constitution was a military decree converted into a military constitution. The people never agreed on anything, but the preamble says, we the people. And so I think we should just throw away the 1999 constitution as amended and go for the 1963 Republican Constitution, because we're talking federalism, but we are practicing unitary system of government.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just have to thank you, Nat Iyako, our own in-house researcher. I have to thank you, Godson, all the way from Petersburg in mid-England. I also have to thank you, Mark. I nearly call you Macmillan again. Mark Godwin, all the way from Milan in Italy.
Thank you.
You are my man, Macmillan.
Thank you so much.
And we have to thank all our crew members, Anthony, Olsen, Hazel, and of course our executive publisher, Dr. Alistair Shiode, and we wish Dr. Alistair Shiode, as well as all other Nigerians, a strong heart to handle the loss of all those generals and loved ones among them. My name is Shegun Johnson. This is how far we can go today. Until next week, when we bring you the latest across the globe. God bless you all.